following new section. Section 6, recognizing the duty of the federal government to create a Green New Deal. A, findings. Congress finds the following. The October 2018 report entitled Special Report on Global Warming of 1.5 Celsius by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change and the November 2018 Fourth National Climate Assessment Report found that human activity...
Without objection, further reading of the amendment will be dispensed with. A point of order is reserved. The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes in support of his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're here to discuss a serious problem, the socialist takeover of the Democratic Party. The idea that Washington knows best is just oozing from every pore of the people's house these days. This bill is no different. The underlying bill, the Climate Action Now Act, is nothing more than a progressive temper tantrum after President Trump wisely withdrew us from the flawed Paris Climate Agreement. I asked my colleagues, what did this sage and sensible climate deal that President Obama didn't even bother submitting as a treaty offer us as a nation? I'll tell you exactly what we got from the deal. A big stocking full of coal that is completely useless because we can't use it to heat our homes. We have an empty agreement that makes people feel good about how the U.S. is, quote, doing something, quote, while China and Russia are able to continue emitting greenhouse gases with impunity for another 13 years. We're being asked to spend billions, if not trillions of dollars to meet these emissions goals. And Democrats' schemes will kill jobs, raise America's energy bills, kick more people from the middle class, and limit our country's global leadership capabilities just so we can feel good about ourselves. That doesn't sound like global leadership. It sounds like the Democrats' fantasy to remove our private sector's power and remake America into a government-controlled socialist state. This brings me to another socialist climate fantasy of the Democratic Party, the Green New Deal. Speaker Pelosi said this fantasy land plan is, quote, about jobs. It's about good-paying green jobs. It's about public health, clean air, and clean water for our children. It's about defending national security, end of quote. Even Newsweek, which is not exactly a bastion of conservative thought, commented that, quote, the Climate Action Now Act would fall far short of instilling the broad, sweeping reforms that the Green New Deal call for. This plan that Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Ed Markey introduced is transformational. Transformational in that it will turn America into the socialist state that Bernie Sanders has cried for since he spent his honeymoon in Soviet Russia. The Green New Deal is a government takeover of our nation's economy that puts Washington's social planners in control, while some on the left have argued that it's the only way to stop our world from ending in a decade. I don't believe killing all the cows and making my colleagues from Hawaii and Puerto Rico take a boat to work every day will really save the world. Among other highlights from the Green New Deal, we will replace every building in the United States, we'll completely cut out all fossil fuels in 10 years, we'll outlaw combustion engines, and guarantee a job for every person, whether or not they want to work. An analysis Chairman Burr recently released from Senate consideration showed that the Green New Deal will raise an average American family's power bill by $3,800 per year. And even worse, we'll be asking our kids and grandkids to foot the astounding $93 trillion bill to realize this punch-drunk fantasy. This plan will do nothing to help our economy. It will only serve to halt profitable industries, hurt American families, and burden us with such a great debt that we will not be able to defend ourselves if we are attacked by a foreign adversary. No wonder my Democratic colleagues are nervous about being held accountable for their plan. This political courage is on display when the Senate voted 0 in favor, 57 opposed, and 43, that's right, 43 present votes. In fact, the sponsor of this legislation, Congresswoman Castor, didn't commit to bring the Green New Deal up for a vote. My amendment gives my colleagues exactly that opportunity. Adopt my amendment and give the House the opportunity to stand and be counted on this measure. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.